Hi, welcome to Ocean Yummy's channel. So this is my second one because I did the Dark Side of Ocean Yummy earlier. So what I'm gonna do is cover about the Andrew Holness what was going on in Jamaica with Andrew Holness. I'm gonna actually put up a video to start off with, and then hold on. Then we're gonna continue. Hold on. So they have been some legal stuff going on with Andrew Holness. He did have an indictment the last time I did check. That's why I call this what's going on with the PM in Jamaica. Now, I am not the expert of Jamaica's legality, laws, nothing like that. So I am literally going to go play by ear on this one because I want to know what's going on with Andrew Holness on a whole. Um, there was an indictment against him at one point. Let me see if I can find the indictment. He had an indictment against him. Let me see. Because they was investigating him. They was investigating him. So the last one was 3 days ago. He was in court. Had a court ruling with the IC in Jamaica. So I'm gonna let it play at this present moment because I don't know what he's been doing because I know the country's been going through a whole heap of stuff, sufferings, all sorts of stuff. If I haven't got everything today, I might have to come back again because sometimes you need to look over a little more details of certain stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play that he was in court with the ICU of recently. Oh, what did happen there? Hi, so you alright? Well, I was just talking about the jazzy thing. I'll tell you afterwards anyway. Anyways, um, so Andrew Holness was with the IC. The ICU was investigating him. Okay, so let's see what they're saying about it. Cause this is. Let me see when this was put out. Let me see. The first that was put out yesterday. Okay, so it's gonna have a bit of an accent.
Holness seeks court ruling to invalidate
okay.
IC investigation report. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has applied to the Supreme Court to have an Integrity Commission investigation report into his financial affairs rejected as unlawful, unfair, and premised on an unconstitutional law. I believe that the tabling of the report was intended to embarrass and cause harm to me and as such was made for an improper purpose and in bad faith to prejudice and harm me, he said, adding that it sought to impute criminal and unethical conduct to me and the other applicants. Holness' application for permission to seek judicial review of actions of the Anti-Corruption Agency was filed on September 30th. The report was released by the House of Representatives on September 17th. He is seeking 21 orders or declarations on 69 grounds. A judicial review allows the court to scrutinize processes used by a public authority to make decisions. The applicants are Holness, his company Imperium Investments Holding Limited, and two other connected entities, Positive Media Solutions Limited and Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited, a charity. Headlines delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the Gleaner's morning and evening newsletters. The respondents are two senior executives of the Commission, Director of Information and Complaints Craig Beresford, first respondent, and Director of Investigations Kevon Stevenson, second respondent, and the Commission itself, third respondent. The probe started with the 2021 income filings, but Stevenson said he flagged an unexplained growth of $1.9 million in Holness declared assets for 2022. Additionally, deposit and withdrawal transactions of $473 million and $427 million involving the named companies raised questions. Issues around tax compliance and charity funds were also noted. Stevenson could not conclude the investigation, citing Holness' refusal to provide a breakdown of his expenses for 2019 to 2022. The Commission said it could not certify the 2021 filing and referred the matter to the Financial Investigations Division, FID, Jamaica's main agency for financial crimes. But Holness contended in the court documents that those conclusions are flawed. He also argued that the probe into his filings for 2019 to 2022 was premised on what he believes is an unconstitutional provision of the Corruption Prevention Act, CPA, Section 14(5), which outlines that a person who fails to satisfactorily explain their wealth relative to their earnings commits the offense of illicit enrichment. He asserted that the provision undermines persons' constitutional entitlement to the presumption of innocence and should be struck down. Regarding the illicit enrichment provision of the CPA, Holness said his lawyers have advised him that the section places a burden on me to prove an essential element of the offense of illicit enrichment, that is the wealth element. But he said the problem is compounded by the fact that the respondents already had the sum that I was required to explain, but failed to disclose it to me so that I could adequately respond or cause representations to be made on my behalf to resolve the matter. Meanwhile, Holness said the IC's Director of Investigations collected evidence, analyzed it, made findings of fact, all while combining the roles of investigator, prosecutor, and judge. Holness also has a problem with the extent of information disclosed in the 171-page investigation report, claiming that the contents of the report disclosed the personal and private information of the applicants in breach of privacy and the data protection laws of Jamaica. It was more than is necessary to make the report to Parliament. I was asked questions in a vacuum, and I was only provided with the documents in appendix, he said in a 37-page affidavit to support his court application. The Prime Minister rejected the IC's assertion that he refused to provide details of his expenses, contending that there was no request for any income and expense statements for 2019 and 2020. The objections that I put forward were dismissed without a hearing. This was improper given the substantial nature of the objections that in some cases went to the respondent's jurisdiction. In addition, I have a right to privacy, Holness said, charging that his objections were ignored. He alleged that it was unlawful and unfair for Stevenson and the Commission to extend the investigation from the 2021 declarations to include the filings for 2019, 2020, 2022, and 2023. Among the orders being sought are for Beresford to be compelled to examine the 2022 and 2023 filings, that Holness be exonerated of faults in relation to the 2021 and 2022 filings, and for investigations by any competent authority to end. The Prime Minister is also urging the court to declare that referral of the report and findings to the Financial Investigations Division and Tax Administration Jamaica represents an unlawful delegation and/or abdication of the second and third respondents and/or the Director of Corruption Prosecution statutory responsibility. The only report Holness said should be retained is one regarding the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecutions, who ruled out criminal charges for the failure to declare 4 bank accounts, an issue that arose from a separate probe. Holness also wants the court to order the IC to pay him damages for breach of privacy, including for stigma, negligent investigation. He also wants vindicatory and aggravated damages.
You know what's so funny about that? That's so laughable to me, because when Nzinga got her hair cut and she wanted things like the way the police dealt with her, he didn't involve himself. But now, because all of his dirty washing and clothes is coming out, and all of his spending, because obviously he's not spending it on the right place in Jamaica. The police was one of the biggest problem in Jamaica, from what I can imagine, dealing with Nzinga case was one of the biggest problems because of how the police was dealing with the people. how things was happening in Jamaica, i.e. kidnapping, different things was happening, deaths of children, and this prime minister here really didn't do nothing because the money was going somewhere else. Now, mind you, Christine did say she had a dream about this dude and how corrupted he was, etc., etc. Now the corruption is coming up to the surface because now they're looking into him. He doesn't want to be looked into. He wants nothing to be spoken about him, which is what most of these prime ministers or PMs mostly do. So instead of putting the money into the right areas to help the country, he's feeding himself. Now remember, of recently last couple months, I think it was the Maroons, Richard Curry, and that also had a run-in with the police. Because some of the police, like I said, is not trained a certain way. There's a lot of BS going on where the police is concerned. And it doesn't be dealt with. The political aspects, which is what happens in most countries. I can say with Trinidad as well, there is a problem with that, where the Prime Minister is living better than the people. There's not equal footing with the people. They don't understand the plight of the people. They will get limousines, go to exquisite parties, and so forth. So they would, in fact, like get the best out of everything. That's why they call for his receipts. What is he doing with the taxes? What is he doing with this? What is he doing with that? That's what the ICU is asking right now. I can't remember which one of it. Oh, it's finished. Is it finished? It's finished. Okay, that one's finished. Okay, that one's done. Hi, Sonia. How comes you haven't got a wrench? I need to wrench you up. I got to wrench up a few people. So let's go to the next one of this is the one from today, I think it is. I'm not sure if it's today's one. Now let's see what they got on the Prime Minister. Okay. Let me see, I can forward it a bit.
Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, as well as Dr. Vin Lawrence, leaving the impression that they had been business partners and that those conflict of interest issues related to them. Want to make it clear, Mr. Patterson and Dr. Lawrence were never business partners and no such conflict of interest issues could therefore apply. We want to apologize to you if you were left with that impression and to apologize unreservedly to both Mr. Patterson and Dr. Lawrence for the embarrassment this has caused them. Let me go now to a report by Andrea Chisholm following Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Now, opposition members walked out of the House after opposition leader Mark Golding had been blocked from moving a motion relating to what Prime Minister Andrew Holness had said about his statutory declarations.
When opposition leader Mark Golding rose to move the motion, House Speaker Juliet Holness excused herself from the sitting, leaving her deputy Heroy Clark to preside over the matter.
Whereas there is a ministerial code of conduct in place from 2002 that governs the conduct of members of the cabinet, and whereas the Prime Minister did not inform the people of Jamaica that he was being investigated.
Hold up. So someone was telling Andrew Holness to resign. They was telling Andrew Holness to resign. I just found another one because remember, I'm kind of late with this one, okay? So I know most people's already covered this. They are now in the House of Parliament in Jamaica, having a discussion about what's going on with Andrew Holness. And so please listen. For those who get what's going on and you understand Please type in the chat what you get from what is being said, because like it looks like they are investigating him for what he's doing with the money from the taxes, probably, I would say, and they are asking him for receipts on what he's doing with the money, etc. Okay, they are looking into all of that. He's getting a real deep investigation. It's not just like a surface one. It seems like a big one, because from what I know of ICU do a whole interrogation to find out what is going on. You know, they will check books, all that, etc. That's what I get from ICU. I could be wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong. You can correct me. It's cool. But let's just go on and hear what's going on in the parliament.
Member,
By the integrity.
member, please.
I don't even need to hear another word. If the member in any way intends to go down a road that is, you can't understand if you don't listen. Permit yourself to use your ears and not your mouth. If it is that the member intends to travel down a road that is going to breach the standing orders in raising matters, let me just say it before, that are sub judice. Hold on, I'm just telling you, that cannot be accommodated in this house.
Member, you start on a premise. And as far as the standing order is concerned, I hear the first part of where you're going.
Deputy House Speaker Leroy Clark used Section 22.3 of the Standing Orders, stating that the motion being moved by Mr. Golding is out of order. He also used the UK Parliamentary Handbook Erskine May to state that matters before the courts cannot be raised in a motion.
So it emerged yesterday that what the House Speaker, the Deputy House Speaker, was speaking about was an application that Prime Minister Andrew Holness had filed in the Supreme Court seeking leave to apply for judicial review of some of the decisions that had been made and actions taken by the Integrity Commission in relation to his statutory declarations and an investigation report that was sent to Parliament in relation to those declarations. What does all this mean? And the whole sub judice issue, which is something I have a big problem with, but Anthony Williams here in studio with me to help us with some of this. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Leanne.
So let's start with judicial review and what it is. And the Prime Minister has filed an application for leave to apply for judicial review. So explain to us what's that all about.
All right. So judicial review basically is a legal process in which a litigant, such as the Prime Minister of Jamaica or any other litigant, can apply to the court seeking redress in relation to a matter that he feels aggrieved about. So, for example, in this particular case, he's saying that a certain decision was made in relation to the Integrity Commission or the Director of Investigations making certain pronouncements that the matter should be sent to FID. And so he is trying to prevent that from happening. And so the issue of constitutionality, illegality arises. And so what he seeks to do is to apply to the court for certain orders, and we will talk about them further, certain orders in relation to judicial review, basically to review or to rule that the IOC, its servants and or agents should not proceed in a certain manner. So therefore, certain decisions were made, and when you're doing a judicial review, you're asking the court to look into the actions or the decisions of those.
The way in which those decisions.
Of the way in.
If you want to make money on Amazon, here's why physical products work so well. Physical products.
Now, we must make it very clear that in law, there are certain axiomatic, or should I say fundamental or pivotal principles on which someone can apply for judicial review. The litigant, and in this case, the Prime Minister, he would have to prove to the court a number of grounds. One, anyone, that there's some illegality that occur,
in how the Integrity
Commission went about it. It could be that they acted ultra vires. I'm just stating the general grounds that they acted ultra vires outside of their powers, or they acted within their powers but abused the process, or they took into account irrelevant considerations, or relevant consideration that should have been taken into account were not taken into account. Those are just some of the grounds.
Okay, one of the important things though is that it's a two-step process.
Yes.
So you can't go straight to judicial review. You have to ask the court for permission to apply for judicial review.
And what that simply means is that the court, before it grants leave, the court must be satisfied. The litigant must convince the court that there is a prima facie case, a case that on the merit worth judicial review. And if the court is of the opinion, based on the evidence that is presented before it, is not sufficient, it does not meet the threshold of these grounds, the abuse of process, the ultra vires, the constitutionality, the illegality, then the court is going to say, sorry, you have not passed the first hurdle. You have to pass the first hurdle in order for us to grant you leave.
Right.
And the court,
out the full case.
Oh yeah. So in other words, it's like putting some clothes in the dryer, and you're blowing out the what I call it, the puffs. Yes, you have to make sure, right? So the court wants to make sure that there is a prima facie case, sufficient evidence to move it, to grant you leave to go to the full court to argue.
Yeah, and the court, in fact, isn't shy about refusing leave in some cases.
In many cases.
So I was looking, for instance, back at the case in which Ian Hales had sought judicial review of a decision of the Integrity Commission.
And was refused.
That
is correct. So we want the public to know, including any politician, and the Prime Minister is not excluded, or the leader of the opposition, whoever they may be. Once you apply to the court for judicial review, then it means that you must have fundamental grounds to ground that application. Otherwise, it's a no-no. Then we come to the issue of sub judice, which is what Minister Pernell Charles Jr. mentioned. And what is sub judice? Sub judice was formulated from as way back as 1742 in a case called the St. James Evening Post, in which Lord Howick, in that particular case, remember, 1742, that's way back. And he said sub judice simply means that the court will cite someone for contempt if someone seeks to comment on a case unmeritoriously or expresses their opinion in such a manner that seeks to influence the court, or to bring the court into disrepute, or to interfere with the legal.
Oh, I get it. So basically, if you say something that's to do with the case, you're going to mess up the case. It's the same with most cases. I feel that's what he's saying. Most of the jargon, I'm going to have to go look up some of what he's saying, because I have never heard these words before. But I will. What I'm gonna do when I get time, I'm gonna look up the words, the meaning of what he's talking about. Because when someone's explaining something, right, even though he's explaining it in great detail, sometimes it's best when you go off and you go and take a look at it, so you can have a bigger understanding of what he's talking about. Because though they will show certain stuff on the Parliament, they will let the media talk, but then, it all depends. I mean, the guy does a great job breaking down stuff, I must admit that. But I want to look into what he's saying a little more, to understand, well, actually, I was going to do the overstand, to understand more where he's coming from, to be honest, because everybody's always said that how Andrew Holness should be charged with certain stuff from a long time ago. It's not just now. I mean, I've only given you Nzinga's plight, because I believe that how he could have done more for her when she got her locks chopped off. I forget when that was. When she got her locks chopped off, he didn't he didn't really help with the matter. He didn't even get the police to because there was no need for it, basically there was no need, right? Even though there was issues with Rust or whatever, there was no need for it. He not only that, there was loads of kidnappings going on in Jamaica. I mean, there's probably still is going on. There's police unaliving people on the streets. Was it Trelawney or one of them places? There was an incident at a wedding. The police, because he's the prime minister, right? He can put a stop to these things. He can, sort out some of these things, but corruption, is deep. In the West Indies, corruption is deep with the prime ministers. It don't matter how you look at it. I feel he worked for the people anyway for a long time. I don't think he's just now. I was just interested in how they talk about indictment at this present moment. I've got to go back to this guy because I feel that for us to understand what's going on, for some of us who don't know what's going on, we need to go back a little bit. I think I did see something that was explaining what was going on a little bit more, because the Jamaican people is talking, because this was 2 weeks ago. Hold on, I've got to take this one off. Well, we can get back to that. That's a lot of jargon to take in, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna let you guys get overwhelmed with that one. Okay.
Against senior members of the PNP who addressed a media conference today and defamed him concerning the question of when he came into awareness of an illicit enrichment investigation. The fact of the matter is the Prime Minister spoke the truth when he indicated to the media on August 17 last year that he was not aware of any member of the Jamaica Labour Party being written to by the Integrity Commission that they're under investigation for illicit enrichment. I can say this to you as well. The Prime Minister and party leader takes his reputation very seriously and will not allow members of the PNP to attempt to use false and malicious statements to malign his character in their desperate bid for political power. I can indicate that the Prime Minister and party leader has advised his attorneys that legal action should be taken against senior members of the PNP who addressed a media conference today and defamed him concerning the question of when he came into awareness of an illicit enrichment investigation.
That was 2 weeks ago, so that's against there's an opposition. There's two parties in Jamaica. There's a PNP, and I forget what the other side is. So this is somebody talking against the opposition. I'm trying to bring people up to date so we can know what's going on. Let me see. Hold on. Give us a minute. Okay. I'm gonna do another one. So it's probably gonna be one of those ones where we just fill in the gaps right now.
From an alleged bomb threat on Wednesday night with increased police presence around his home, to calls by the opposition for him to resign, amid revelations this week that he was among those being investigated by the Integrity Commission for possible illicit enrichment. This comes as the Integrity Commission investigates the Prime Minister's wealth. They zoomed in on 3 companies linked to him, which they believe should be subject to further investigations by the Financial Investigations Division, FID, and more. So in the midst of all of this, the opposition PNP has called for the Prime Minister to resign, alleging that he was not honest to the Jamaican people about the fact that he was among those being investigated. On the flip side, the Jamaica Labour Party JLP has responded and in a media release on Wednesday declared that the Prime Minister will remain in office. And with all this taking place, the Prime Minister in Parliament on Tuesday declared that he has worked hard and honestly for all that he has achieved.
I grew up in a 2-bedroom board house at 56 Cumberland Road, just up from the Grassyard Market to the Spanish Town. I have worked hard. You know, people just see the achievements. Yeah. No, they don't know the hours, the nights, the hard work. They don't know. I have worked hard, wisely, and honestly to achieve whatever I have. I never had a gold spoon, and I have never depended on the public purse.
However, the critics are not letting up. And with a war of words now ongoing between the PNP and the JLP, some from the JLP are singing the tune of one particular Elephant Man song.
Would you love to make a real difference in people?
So he's gonna fight for his seat as a prime minister right now. That's what I'm getting from that little bit there. You see, because like you know, like even the song he's playing, he's saying people got bad mind against him. That's why they play the song. It's so funny. Anyway, I'm gonna watch what's gonna go on with this one because I haven't been watching the Prime Minister for a while. I don't really watch the Andrew Holness a lot, but I will actually take time to keep up to date what's going on with this indictment thing or whatever they're researching on him because it's kind of overdue, to be honest. He's fighting to keep his seat in Parliament. That's what he's doing right now. He's fighting to keep his seat in Parliament. He said he came from the ground up to reach to where he is. He will not give up the seat without a fight. Okay, so that's what I'm getting from this. Okay, so I don't know what else to say on that one. As for the legal jargon, I need to look into that a little more because for me to deal with that, I need to know what exactly is going on because like when you hear big words, people normally run away from the big words, but then sometimes right, you have to listen to the big words and then you have to find out what their words mean, especially as a people, to know what's going on with the Prime Minister. If they do change the Prime Minister in Jamaica, it'd be interesting to see what that looks like. Where is that going? Because like I said, there's two parties over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? From what I know about the PNP. I heard about them before, and I think the next one is GLP. So we have to see where this is gonna go because there's not a lot I can say because I need someone from Jamaica to come and tell me a couple more bits about this because I have been around places, but it's a lot to take in, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put my spin on it till I know a little more. Now the indictment bit I do get because Trump went through the indictment thing in America where they was investigating him. So I understand that. So well, whether they're still investigating him now or not or whatever, yeah, you know. So I'm not going to say too much, right? Because I don't know the ins and outs and how deep it is. I hear what the man is saying on the thing, but I don't want it to go over my head. I want it to stick in my head when he's talking. I want to understand what's going on, because I have a family in Jamaica too, and I would want to know that she's gonna be okay where she at, you know. You know, so thank you, so Alma, for coming through, and Sonia Adventures, because I'm sure if the other Jamaican content creators cover it a bit more, I will understand. I'll get a bigger understanding. For now, I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm not even going to go further into that because it's a lot. And I actually didn't get time to even take a look into it because I was really curious what was going on with him. I see it flash up. I want to know what the heck was going on with why they were charging him and all this. But now I do get it. So I'm gonna leave it right here. If you have anything, if you want to correct me on anything, please come in the comments. Anyone from Jamaica, especially the Jamaicans, please tell me. Come tap into the comments. Tell me a little bit more if you can, and then I'll just go off and I'll put the dots together. I kind of put the dots together, but I don't want it to be up in the air right now. So I kind of got a small overview. I ain't gonna go in deep because I don't want to say something and it could be wrong. Because if it's wrong, then it's a different story. I don't want it to be wrong. I want to be on point with this one's concern. Because like I said, I have family in Jamaica, and I would want to know that she's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Because you know when things change, hi Sergio, when things change in Jamaica politically, we know in the Caribbean, it can go a bit crazy. Okay, so I want to know that she's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, even though she has told me she don't get involved in the political side of things. She don't talk about what side she will, whatever, which is fair because it can be very bloody, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna talk to some of the content creators from Jamaica to get a bigger understanding of bigger things because I like to talk to people from the places. It gives me a clearer insight into certain spots, you know. I don't want to assume because I'm over. Don't assume because I'm over here that we sometimes we know what's going on in Jamaica. Don't get it twisted. We know what's going on in Jamaica. It's just to be on point on certain stuff. You know what I mean? To pinpoint what is what. So with that said, I'm gonna leave it right there. Thank you, Sergio, for coming through, but I'm getting off now. And that my time's very limited. And I did say I was going to do 2 lives. I've done 1 live already, and this is my 2nd live for the day. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to go in too deep. I wanted to do a 3rd one, but if it's not so, I just leave it. And if it not be so, just leave it. I got to finish something and I want to post it because it's important that I post this one. I don't want to put it on. I don't want to do it on a live. I want to do it on a video because it's like, you know, it's one of those ones. Please come into the comments. You can go backwards into time with my old videos, or you can go forwards into time with the videos. Please like the videos. Every single video is important, whether I'm covering little old love after lockup, little old whatever. They're all important information, you know what I mean? I'm actually trying to get into what Sonia Adventure and General's talking about. I'm trying to get into them parts there because they're quite juicy over there. There's some juicy, really interesting stuff. Please sub to So Armor, Sonia, Adventure, Surge Rock TV, Mind's Eye, who else? Luminum Blanco, The General, Passion Lisa, Dr. Mira, Pineapples, Straight Facts, to name a few. Miss Wise, Rico, Sleaze, if you're into that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's a variety of people with a variety of very good channels in all varieties and all things. So I think the next time I might do a panel. I see how I feel. Cause panels I'm very, very strict. I need to do another live with another person. Hopefully I'll sort that out. If not, I have to come on when it's not so noisy in the background and just do my thing. If I'm not doing something else. Yeah. So I just thought I'd give you a heads up on that. Please go into the comments. Please talk to me. Whether it's the dark side, whether it's Ocean Yummy over here, let's have conversations. We can learn a lot from each other. You know, that's how I feel. We can learn a lot from each other. We can definitely learn a lot from each other. No one's above or beneath or over or whatever. You know, so please, any Jamaicans in the subbies, where are you at? Any Jamaican subbies, even if it's Sonia Adventure herself, you can come up and you can tell me a little bit more what's going on with Andrew Holness. If you are following it, that is. I don't mind jumping in the middle, but I jump in the middle with this one. But anyways, I jump in the middle, but at the same time, I will find out. You know me, I just come back and do a second part on it. You know, make sure everything is tied up nicely and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't like to leave people thinking, yeah, like, no, I'm not doing it because it's trending. I'm just curious what's going on with him. I'm curious what's going on with the PM in Jamaica, you know. But I get it. I think I got a little bit of the gist from that article, what is going on to a certain extent, but I want to know a bit more. Okay, I want to know a bit more. Please put it into the comments. Let me know, and we can have a conversation. With that said, I will see everybody, even in the comments, on the live, on video comments section, community tab section, Dark Side of Ocean Yummy section, channel, Ocean Yummy channel, probably in the chats. Okay, so with that said, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Have a good day. Let me see if I could play my thing because I never get a chance to play my thing. I haven't played my thing in a long time, you know. Let me see if I could find it. Ooh. Let me see if I could find it. I keep playing everything else. So I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.